Alright guys, how's it going? It's the Eastbayanglers. Today we're talking about the MegaBass 110, the Vision 110. Now, these are extremely sought after baits. They're high priced, they're in Japan, they're high-end Japanese tackle. And you know, a lot of people right off the top say, should I invest in these? And the answer is absolutely yes. So the first thing I want to talk about is, you know, I want to urge you guys to get one, one and try it. Get one and whatever swim bait or spinnerbait you're throwing at your local body of water, get something close to, what you do well with, and you will be surprised. So let's get straight to it. These can be fished any time of the year. They can be fished with almost any gear ratio up to 7:3:1 and all the way down to 5:6:1. So very versatile. A lot of times people overcomplicate the jerk bait, but it's extremely good. So we're going to talk about the top 5 colors. Number 1 is going to be the Tennessee Shad. This is an extremely good color. It stands out really well, and it works in a variety of different fisheries, and it imitates, in my opinion, more than just the Tennessee Shad. It imitates a lot of different bait fish, and a lot of times you're working the jerk bait so fast, it's a reaction bait. They don't have a lot of time to say, oh, I see that there's a little discoloration over here, it looks a little gold. No, they have to react or they don't eat. They either react or miss that bait, because generally you're fishing jerkbaits extremely fast. Now, if you're not getting bit and it's been a while, that's when you start slowing down. And you don't just slow down your retrieve, you slow down the cadence itself and the jerks on the rod, the whole 9. So the second color that we're going to talk about today, that's the second color you should have tied on, is the ITO Wakasagi. And if you don't get the ITO, there's one called the MG Wakasagi 2 or Wakasagi MG2. That's an excellent color as well, which just came out, so might be a little hard to find. But those 2 that I just mentioned, the Tennessee Shad and the Wakasagi, are phenomenal at basically imitating almost every and any, they work in imitating almost bait fish in any area. So it's phenomenal bait, each one of those. And I'm going to talk about the third color now, and the third color is going to be the gill. It's a straight gill pattern, and Gigagill, I think they call it. So it's very much so effective from, I would say, the end of March all the way to the end of August. It's a big window where that bait just absolutely shines. It has a lot to do with the fact that in a lot of places, and not everybody knows this, but there's actually 2 spawns. Sometimes even in rarer cases, there's 3 spawns for panfish. So generally speaking, you've got a spawn in spring and you've got a spawn potentially right around August. So it's really interesting, and sometimes, like I said, in rare cases, from the books I've read, there is a 3rd spawn some places for panfish. So keep in mind, that whole thing. But it's all during that period. It's a very effective color. Get yourself a gill and you won't be disappointed. But don't fish it the rest of the year, at least in California. It doesn't seem to work as well. So number 4 is going to be the GG Perch. This is the same deal. This is going to be effective, like spring, summer, and fall. This is not a good color in the winter, in my opinion. But then again, if you've got a massive craw population, this does sometimes look like a craw because it's moving so fast and it's a reaction. So it's actually not a bad thing to throw this in the winter too. That's another thing, these can be fished all year, guys. That's another thing about the 110s that's just so awesome. So the last color we're going to talk about is the OB Trout. Now the OB Trout's a little bit harder to get than the GG Trout, but it does outfish the GG Trout. It's extremely more accurate and depicts the rainbow trout much better with the paint job, in my opinion. So, well, the fish like it more. So, I mean, I guess if the other one, if the GG Trout was catching all the fish, I would rave about that particular rainbow trout pattern. But yeah, the bottom line is the OB Trout is the trout you want. There also is a UL Trout if you guys want to spend more money. It's a pretty good color. That's going to cost you 60, 70 bucks for that lure. So these are the 5 lures, guys. These are the ones that you can get. They're stock colors and they're the most effective. You know, I could have sat here today and talked to you about a bunch of colors that are really good, but they're not stock. And at the same time, there's so many colors for the 110. It really is at the point where, you know, it's getting, I mean, it's crazy. It's a good crazy. But at the same time, you know, being able to handle it all, balance it. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching.